Well, it's been quite a rough week for the major teachers' union in the country, SADTU, the South African Democratic Teachers Union, what with revelations about officials of the union, in collusion with officials in the Department of Education in certain areas, selling senior teaching posts. To become a principal of a school, or deputy principal it seems, costs 30,000 Rand and more. But what is really worrying is the fact that this scam was known about for more than a year. Even Zwelinzima Vavi, the recently reinstated Cosatu General Secretary, says that he protested, he lodged a complaint with the authorities a year ago. Well, when the authorities did nothing, why did nobody come out publicly? It took the media to find this out. And I think that, in fact, is desperately worrying. I'm really concerned about that. Also concerned, I think, concerning everybody, is the main news story on the Labour front. Not just this week, but last week and the past months and weeks. And that is the platinum strike, the strike on the platinum belt. I'm sure everybody's aware that the issue is a 12,500 Rand a month demand for entry-level pay. The union, AMCU, the Association of Construction and Mine Workers Union, AMCU, and the mine workers have demanded this, and first they said immediately, then it was delayed 3 years, they said 4 years, with the implication that this 12,500 Rand a month entry-level wage could be phased in over 5 years. Then last week the companies came to the party and made an announcement that this entry-level wage of 12,500 a month would be acceptable, could actually be achieved by 2017, in 3 years. Still no settlement. Why not? Well, actually it's quite simple. The unions are demanding a pay packet of 12,500 Rand a month. That's how much you get in your pay. And they're prepared to wait, as I say, 4, even perhaps 5 years. The companies are saying, we're working this out on the basis of a cost to company, which means they're rolling in things like holiday pay, the 13th check, living out allowances, etc., which have always been additional to basic pay. So that's what it's all about. The union has now written to the president, to the ministers, etc., asking for their intervention. With the election a week away, I can't see them doing anything until after May the 7th. So we'll probably have to wait till then for a settlement. And we'll also, after May the 7th, certainly see another eruption of the long drawn-out row between the National Union of Metalworkers, NUMSA, its 8 supporters, and the Cosatu executive. Now, how does this concern you, or how does it concern me? I think it actually does, because it concerns this, the Cosatu Constitution. It's a constitution, and the issue it raises is actually constitutionality. Is a constitution something we uphold, something we cherish, or is it not worth the paper it's written on? And that applies whether it's a trade union federation, whether it's a bowling club, or whether it's a country's constitution. So therefore, it's vitally important. But also important, you see, this today, of course, as I'm sure you're all aware, is May Day. And we'll have the usual protestations of unity, solidarity, etc. But the basic demand of May Day, which was first made 158 years ago, has still not been achieved. Now, this is something I've gone into in my Inside Labour column in Fin24, which will be available tomorrow. Because I maintain that it is even more important today than 100 or 150 years ago, or even, for example, when the first May Day rally was held in South Africa in 1904 in Johannesburg. It's much more important today that we look at this basic issue of working time, of the 8-hour day or the 6-hour day or the 5-hour, whatever. Because today we live in a world of motorways, in a world of mass transit, in a world of buses and taxis, trains, all of which are driven by workers, and their hours of work are vitally important. I don't know how many of you realize that if you stayed awake for 17 hours at work or whatever, if you were then tested in terms of your impairment, you would qualify to be a drunk driver. 17 hours. It's also cumulative. That's, I think, one of the most vital questions we face today. It's in the column tomorrow, and it's over to you. Let's have your comments. And from me, that's all for this week. Thank you.